What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another match from the Kaze SC2 Invitational. We've got a little bit of a special surprise for you, though. We've got a special guest caster here today. Everybody, say hello to Kaze Onoma.
Yo, yo, yo! I touch boys, apparently.
Alright, so the finals here are between Newborn and Detriment. We have Newborn spawning as the Yellow Zerg on the west side of the map here on Lost Temple, and Detriment spawning as the Purple Protoss up here in the north position. These are close positions on this map, which means Newborn is going to be under a little bit of pressure here. He's going to send out this drone scout, and he should be able to spot this relatively quickly. But I'm going to be very interested to see if he decides to go ahead and go for a hatch first build on this map, or if instead he's going to play something a little bit safer.
Yeah, I agree. I think Newborn characteristically throughout the tournament has done a 14 hatch build every single game, so we'll see if he takes that risk in these close positions again.
Now, Detriment, I'm curious. Detriment, if I remember correctly, was the guy that knocked you out of the tournament. Is that correct?
Yes, knocked me and my coworker Ghost out.
So I'm curious, in this situation then, are you kind of rooting for Detriment, so then you can be like, yeah, I lost, but I lost to the guy that went on to win the tournament, or are you hoping for a little bit of revenge here? We see looks like about a 13 gate coming down for Detriment here.
Yeah, and no 14 hatch yet from Newborn, so a little bit different play.
Oh yeah, he's got a pylon now blocking that as well, so that's going to be quite a while before he's going to be able to get that down.
The Manor pylon. In reference to your question, I have to root for Newborn. He's actually my pretty good StarCraft buddy too, and since Detriment knocked me out, I kind of want to see him go down. No offense, Irat, you know, those good games, you deserve to win, but man, would have liked to have gone farther in the tournament.
Gas just now coming up for Detriment here. He's kind of saving up his minerals. I kind of wonder what he's planning on doing. He's getting a forge now. Oh, maybe changing his mind. No, cybernetic score. Okay, so he is going for something fairly normal. It's just a little bit delayed for some reason. Not completely sure what the goal there is. Newborn here still hasn't even made an attempt at taking his expansion. He's in fact getting down a Roach Warren now as well. Yeah, so looks like he's just decided he doesn't want that expansion at all. He's going to go ahead and go for some sort of one base Roach attack here.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to be a little bit safer. I mean, with the Manor pylon in his way and close positions, I think he's gonna, try to get out some roaches so he can stop any early zealot harassment early on, and then that way, then he can safely take his base as soon as possible. And he's got his 2 Zerglings out now to get rid of that annoying pylon.
Yeah, we do have the forge now down again, just about to finish now actually for Detriment. It looks like he's chrono boosting out a Stalker. So, in his Warp Gate research as well. So maybe going for an early expand build. Perhaps just wants to do some early pressure before teching up to something else. We have really, really good spread on Overlords here out of Newborn. He's got them positioned in very, very key locations where he'll be able to see anything that comes out of that base. He can also suicide these in a little bit later to be able to get up into that base and get some information. Photon Cannon now coming down for Detriment as well, right here on the corner of this ledge, so it looks like he probably will end up wanting to take that expansion relatively soon here.
Yeah, and Newborn is taking his natural now, and he's got metabolic boost, the Zergling speed upgrade, about 75% done, so I think he's looking to, play a very safe build and just be ready to handle any kind of aggression that might come out of Detriment, although Detriment is obviously expanding, so we won't see any for a while.
Yeah, it looks like you're just slightly ahead of me on the replay here. I'm just now seeing the hatchery go up, so not sure how that's happening. That keeps happening for some reason, but whatever, we'll just roll with it. Expansion now coming up for Detriment on my screen. The hatchery and the Nexus actually went down at almost the exact same time. The timings are almost identical, so that's pretty funny. And a sentry now coming out for Detriment as well, so he should be pretty safe against any early pressure. But oh, here we go, a bunch of Zerglings moving in. Looks like they're actually going to not move in at all. And now they are going to move in. I hate when they do this. They keep doing this. And move back and forth. And, oh, am I going to go in? And am I not going to go in? But now they're going in there, taking a couple shots from the Stalker, and going to go ahead and pull out. Could have probably done some decent damage there. But with that photon cannon up on the ledge and this other one being warped in, it would have been short-lived. So probably a good call to go ahead and back up out of there. Just show that the Zerglings are there. Put a little fear in the heart of Detriment. And just move on. Keep your units happy. Warp Gate's just now finishing as well. He's going to start warping those in. He's actually getting some more gateways up as well, which should coincide just about with the time that this expansion finishes.
What time are you at right now? I'll try to resync with you as soon as possible.
I am just now crossing the 7-minute mark.
Okay, I'm right around there too, so. And looks like Newborn is getting an evolution chamber. Want to get those upgrades up, probably the armor upgrades, so important for the Zerg.
Yeah, in the PvZ matchup, upgrades are very, very big. I know as a Protoss player, a big part of getting this forge here early on, which it doesn't look like he's actually made much use out of other than for those couple of cannons, but a big part of getting that is you really, really want that +1 weapon upgrade in the early game, because it lets your Zealots kill Zerglings in 2 hits instead of 1. So then obviously if the Zerg player gets the +1 armor upgrade instead, which actually looks like he's going for +1 melee attacks, but if he were to get that +1 armor upgrade, that actually negates the bonus from the +1 upgrade on the Protoss end. So it tends to be kind of an upgrade war. We do see +1 ground weapons coming up for Detriment now at this point also. So yeah, both players getting started on those upgrades early. I like it. I like it a lot.
And it looks like a Robo Bay is coming up for Detriment, and a Spire is coming up for Newborn himself. So we're seeing them move on to Tier 2 after no aggression has actually gone on between the two of them. So they're just teching up.
Yeah, all the players in this matchup, and honestly, it's a lot just, or in this tournament, I should say, and honestly, it's a lot just because, like I've mentioned several times, this is not a pro level tournament. This is just a bunch of friends having some fun. A lot of players have been really shying away from early aggression. It can be kind of scary if you aren't completely familiar with what's going on, and you're focusing entirely on not losing as opposed to trying to bust in and win right away. It can lead very, very easily to a whole lot of just wanting to sit back, be passive, feel safe, but also try to get up to those higher tech units as quickly as possible.
And we see Detriment moving out right now, taking the Zelnaga Tower and kind of marching in a little bit, but stopping outside of Newborn's base, giving Newborn time to make an army.
I have no idea how you keep getting ahead of me, but you are in fact quite a bit ahead of me now at this point.
Okay, I'm at 1020. Tell me when you get there.
Wow, you're actually a full minute ahead of me.
Wow.
So now I see Detriment moving out. He's going to take out that Zergling right away, then move down here to the Zelnaga Watchtower. Going to be able to take that over no problem. Observer just now coming out for him as well. I believe that's the first Observer he's gotten out. So I'm going to check the units tab. Yep, first Observer that he's gotten out. Unit counts are pretty even on the worker side of things. 41 drones for Newborn and 38 probes. But here we go. Detriment's moving in a little bit, takes a hit from that spine crawler and backs back out. So he's going to move back, just back up a little. He actually completely skips the Zelnaga Watchtower. He doesn't want to worry about holding that for some reason. I guess he feels kind of vulnerable with those units out there, but instead he's just going to, as the Photon Cannon takes some pot shots at the Overlord up here. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and sit back and try to be... Is he going to lose that Overlord? No, it looks like that Overlord is just barely going to escape with 20 hit points. So yeah, both players are just kind of sitting back at this point. Been an uneventful game so far. Not really a whole lot of anything that's gone on yet. But are you popping popcorn or something? What are you doing?
Oh no, I had someone come in. I just needed to know what I was doing. I covered the mic with my hand.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I can't remember what it's called, corruption or something. You rarely ever see it used, so I can't remember the name of it, but corruption going down
Contaminate.
on that. Contaminate, there we go, going down on that forge. Unfortunately, he wasn't actually doing anything with it at the time, and it looks like he did escape with that Overseer. So the Contaminate doesn't really block anything, but otherwise still pretty cool. I always like to see that ability get some use. Now Twilight Council going down now for Detriment, so he'll probably be transitioning into, I would have to say probably, since we don't see a, at least I'm not seeing it around here anywhere, don't see a robotics facility. He's probably going to be transitioning into some sort of like Stalker, Blink Stalker or Charge Zealots, and then probably from there into High Templar, I would imagine. Mutalisk now moving out for Newborn here as well. So Kazey, I am now at the 12:38 mark in game here.
Okay. I'm right around there too, but I've been running at normal speed.
I don't know why it's running so slow for me. That's kind of weird.
Okay, well, I'll just go with it. And it looks like Newborn's got the Zonaga Tower between them, and then he doesn't. But he does have his Mutalisk out there. Spot for any kind of aggression that might come out of Detriment, it looks like.
Yeah, he does have the one Zergling there keeping control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. But that looks like about it.
Unit count-wise, they're still pretty close. I mean, Newborn's 106, 100-ish, while Detriment is still just a tad over 90, so nothing huge happening, but it does look like Newborn is slowly pulling ahead. He's starting to gain a 20 population advantage.
Mutalisk now in the back of the base takes out a pylon. Did they take out all of those probes? I did not. Oh no, they're sitting over there. So sneaks in, forces them off of mining, takes out a pylon pretty quick, and then just completely backs right back out. Looks like he did not lose any Mutalisks in that exchange. At least I did not see any of them that were lost. And now some photon cannons going up for Detriment, backed by that mineral line to help scare them off a little bit more. But still a good move out of Newborn there, forcing those probes off of mining for a fairly decent amount of time, and took out a couple of them as well. Now this is weird. Newborn expanding across the map at the gold, completely on the opposite side of the map now. Obviously, trying to take his close gold would be very, very scary, just because that's so close to Detriment's main. So instead, he's opting to go across the map and get this gold expansion way over here instead. It will be interesting to see if he can manage to hold on to that. Meanwhile, Detriment is lining this close by air. Second main over here on the east side with pylons, just dropping them down like crazy. Probably wants to expand there sometime soon, but in the meanwhile, he's just making sure there's some pylons. Uh-oh, missing a whole bunch of action going on here. Zerglings coming in, surrounding. Mutalisks coming in as well. The Stalkers and Zealots are trying their best to hold it off, but the Stalkers are unfortunately getting in the way of the Zealots. It looks like the Zealots will clean up the rest of the Zerglings here, but the Mutalisks are still up, and they are taking out all of these Stalkers. This looks very, very scary for Detriment at this point.
Yeah, Newborn still has, I think, 17 Stalkers, 15 Mutalisks, and he's just going to clean up all of these Zealots. He's just going to lose that entire army of Zealots right there as they try to retreat.
Yeah, it looks like they might, some of them might make it back to the base. Yeah, it looks like, what is that, about 8 of them made it back to the base. A couple of them very, very close to death. This guy's actually only got 4 hit points, and this guy has got 11. But still, huge lead for Newborn at this point. If we go and check the supply here, excuse me, the supply here. I can't remember what the hotkey is for it, so I'm just going to click on it. R, there we go. 122 supply for Newborn and 78 supply for Detriment. So very, very large lead at this point. And Newborn just doing the safe thing, doing the calm thing. Just gonna come around here with these Mutalisks. Looks like he's gonna try and pop in the back. There's a couple of cannons there that will probably send him away, although he could just kill them actually. And this looks like what he's gonna do. He's gonna take out these 2 cannons and then immediately back off, because these Stalkers come up in here and take a couple shots, and he does not want to lose any of those Mutalisks at this point. Wants to keep his lead as much as possible. Uh-oh, the Stalkers move away, but too soon. Comes back in, takes out probes, takes out another cannon. Yeah, and he's just going to move on over to the main at this point. So much damage being dealt from these Mutalisks. There's a couple more cannons here, but doesn't even matter with this number of Mutalisks. He's just taking them out like crazy. Oh, and in a fit of rage, Detriment attacks his own gateway instead of hitting the Mutalisk. The Mutalisk, he does lose a couple of the Mutalisks, and it looks like they've finally been repelled. But so much damage was done by this pack of Mutalisks in that little exchange there.
Yeah, if you look at the resource counter again, it looks like Newborn is now just continually growing 147 to Detriment's 89. It does seem like Detriment is spending a lot of resources building cannons over in the 3 o'clock position that he isn't actually using, so that could have gone to any kind of army unit, or at least cannons in his main.
It looks like at some point there was a pylon here that died as well. I saw the bits and pieces of it left after I moved over here. I don't know what the word to use for that is, but he has, what is this? That is 7 cannons over here. If my math serves me properly, that's a buttload of minerals spent that there isn't even a nexus over there. Moving in with the Mutalisks now, the Stalkers blink up, but unfortunately there's just way more Mutalisks than there are Stalkers. Not much they can do about it. The Zergling's coming in as well and surrounding on these Stalkers. Just nothing he can do against this. The Zerglings are going to get, or there were stuff, and now there isn't stuff anymore.
Yeah, this game is going to be over pretty soon. The populations are 158 to 47.
Yeah.
Newborn is eventually saturating that gold base at around the, what is that, 4 o'clock position.
And in fact, we even see 40 more Zerglings were just created by Newborn. And he's about got his adrenal glands. He's getting Zerg melee attacks level 3. At this point, all he's really doing is just cementing his win, making sure there is nothing that can possibly go wrong. And then very soon he will probably be moving in for the kill. They're just, at this point, like you said, there's just such a lead in the supply. Now 164 to 47. Not really anything Detriment can do at this point. I think he is fairly screwed.
Detriment's trying to take the 3 o'clock now. He's got a Nexus thrown down there, but unless Newborn chooses not to attack after he hits 200 and just sits and gives Detriment a chance to rebuild, pretty sure Newborn could just move his way into Detriment's base right now.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about this Nexus at the 3 o'clock position, like you're saying, is it will actually have to mine for about 3 minutes. Unless he transfers a whole ton of probes over there. It will take a long time for that to actually pay for the 7 cannons that are just lining it at the moment. So not really a good investment over there.
Yeah, we have 34 probes versus 63 drones. And, it's never good when Protoss is behind in probe count when they can chrono boost them out like that. So
yeah, 25 Mutalisks, 110 Zerglings out for Newborn, and that the only thing that Detriment has to answer for it is 2 Zealots, 5 Stalkers, and 7 Sentries. And honestly, I don't know why he has so many Sentries. He might just be making them because he's low on minerals but high on gas, but even then, probably better things he can do. He spots the eastern expansion here, the 3 o'clock position, so he knows that that's, well, he knows that it's there. It's definitely not up and running. And oh, here he comes. All these Mutalisks moving in. Zerglings streaming in from behind. This expansion is going to go down very, very soon. I would expect GG from this no matter what. Yeah, there is nothing that these cannons could do. It looks like he is going to pull back. He took a few hits and then pulled back, but oh no, I'm sorry, there's a fight going on in the middle. It looks like he is able to take out a little bit of stuff, but these Mutalisks and Zerglings are going to be there any second and just mop this up, and here they come.
And there's 4 Zealots just hanging out in the back, deciding not to get into the action.
He actually sent a large portion of his Zerglings up to the main, knowing that there was no way that Detriment could fight off what he had in the middle there. Just went ahead and sent a whole bunch of his Zerglings up to the main to start working on that. It looks like this is going to fall.
Cannons are going down. There's about a bajillion units now in Irat's natural. His 3 o'clock expansion is basically shut down. He's got no minerals left in his main, and you know, he just finished researching hallucination for some reason.
Yeah, and there's GG. So That's going to be the end of game 1. Looks like Newborn took that one out with a huge push towards the end, just completely pushing over everything. Sit back, build up, sat back, built up, and eventually just had so much stuff that there was not anything that Detriment could do about it. So we're going to go on to game 2 now. We'll see you guys in just a second.